It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us call them hate speech. But fear not, my ego don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego politico, my ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, my ego don't come, oh, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, my ego don't come, oh, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say my ego don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. My ego die politico, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo. My ego don't come, oh, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that my egun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say my egun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say my egun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo. My egun don't come, oh, yo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na he be number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary na he be number one. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary na he be number one. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary na he be number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary na he be number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú.
Consequently, the following decisions come into immediate effect. The interim national government is hereby dissolved. The national and state assemblies are also dissolved. The state executive councils are dissolved. The brigade commanders are to take over from the governors in their states until administrators are appointed. Where there are no brigade commanders, the commissioners of police in the states are to take over. All local governments stand dissolved. The directors of personnel are to take over the administration of the local governments until administrators are appointed. The National Electoral Commission is hereby dissolved. All former secretaries to federal ministries are to hand over to their director generals until ministers are appointed. The two political parties are hereby dissolved. All processions, political meetings and associations of any type in any part of the country are hereby banned. any consultative committee by whatever name called is hereby prescribed.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Hello there. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. Good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. Brethren, thank you so much for joining me again. Today is the day one, or the day after Thiefnubu declared the state of emergency in Rivers State. And there has been a lot of development, reactions and counter-reactions from the moment of that pronouncement. So tonight, I implore you to please read beyond the caption of this broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast as well, as usual. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them all that Mayegun today, and here is where you are likely going to get the details of what is going on, what transpired, and where the situation currently stands on Mayegun's diary political. Yesterday, Thiefnubu announced declared a state of emergency in Rivers State, an action that many have considered as, overreaching or far-reaching. Others consider this action as illegal, which ordinarily, if Nigeria is a working system, Thiefnubu should be standing in defense of his own impeachment as we speak. But we know that is a long shot. So concerning the effect of this action, apart from the reactions, the effect simply means Thiefnubu unilaterally suspended the democratically elected governor of a state, as well as the state assembly, like unilaterally suspended an elected government, right, in a state in Nigeria. His own minister, which everybody believes, advised him to actually do this. Pagbewon, the Minister of Injustice and Attorney General of Nigeria. So he has come out to defend this action as well, that Thiefnubu acted very much right within the power that the constitution of the contraption gives him. And he also sent a note of warning to some of to the other states in Nigeria by reminding them that Thiefnubu has the power to suspend or remove any governor under any constitutional circumstance or circumstances. And therefore, everybody should not dare Thiefnubu on what power he has and which of them he is ready to use. So conversation is ongoing, but something happened last night. Before the announcement of before the declaration of state of emergency by Thiefnubu, there were reported 2 explosions, and there have been other reported explosions even after the declaration of state of emergency in Rivers State. However, Thiefnubu, which according to others, right, believing that he acted alone in the sense that the process of declaring a state of emergency in any part of Nigeria was not really followed. The National Assembly was supposed to be carried along. They were supposed to actually give the approval before any pronouncement or announcements like Thiefnubu did. But as it is expected, the National Assembly, that is more or less like a rubber stamp for this Thiefnubu, they are likely going to also ignore this infraction. So tonight, we have, I have a lot of update to give to us, step by step, until the last hour or the last minute on Mayegun's Diary Political. So if you have read the description of this broadcast and you have liked the broadcast, you have shared the broadcast, thank you. So you have done your part. So it is my turn. Thiefnubu is supposedly was supposed to be an elected president in a democracy. And in a democracy, you have, three sort of organs of government. Is that what you call it? Where you have the federal, you have the state, and you have the local government. By design, the states, which they are called the federating units, they have the autonomy to make their own law, collect their own taxes, and at some point, right, provide their support for, security, kind of. But in practice, what you have in Nigeria is not a democracy to start with. Because what should have defined your system of government would have been the people, you, deciding what kind of government do you really want to govern you in your own country. And that would be pretty much like written and printed in your own constitution that nobody will have the power to just change without your consent or approval. So the Nigerian fake democracy was put together by the military, where the people themselves don't even know they didn't even know what was written in their own constitution until the swearing in of Olusegun Obasanjo in 1999. Pretty much like they had a blind democracy, a pseudo-democracy, just to make them feel or pretend to have the power to choose their own representatives or elect their own president, which obviously they don't really have in practice. Then the president of Nigeria, I have said this many times, anybody that parades himself as the president of Nigeria is so powerful that, you know what, God can take time before he punishes anybody. But this president of Nigeria can take your life just like that without any consequences at all. He is so powerful enough that when you read that fraudulent constitution, you realize that what you have in Nigeria is not a federal system of government. It's not a democracy. What you actually have is a unitary system of government, and it is a dictatorship that you have. Anyone that is your president is so powerful that a Nigerian president is more powerful than America. I mean, Nigerian president is more powerful in Nigeria than the American president in America. You know, it's a place where you can get away with anything the moment they call you the commander-in-chief. So what then makes the states, federating units, supposedly autonomous sort of, units of the states, is just by pronouncements, just by words. With Wike and Fubara, who had a deal of godfather and godson, their deal went sour, and then they instituted different cases against themselves. Where Wike has been hosting different media chat or media parley, he's been bragging on what that heaven will not fall if Fubara is removed as governor. A lot of people today who are on the side of Fubara, they are not primarily doing so simply because they like Fubara. It is mostly because of the level of the arrogance, the impunity in the system. They've watched their entire system, like the judiciary, become so compromised that it's more or less like judiciary is under the thumb of Wike, obviously Thiefnubu as well. So there were others who believe that Thiefnubu has already taken sides, and the side he has taken is that of Wike, because if the Supreme Court of Nigeria ruled that there is no government in Rivers State, and for government for the constitution to be sort of regarded as acknowledging the existence of government in Rivers State. Fubara must go back and present the 2025 budget to this House of Assembly members. Fubara went back to present this budget. He was chased out, locked out of their makeshift assembly. Then he wrote to them again that he was planning to come and present this budget according to the Supreme Court. But the House of Assembly chooses to adjourn and also issued the gross misconduct allegation and query against the governor and the deputy governor in what is believed to be a process of removing them from office. Now, if they should be impeached, that will leave the Speaker of the State House of Assembly as the governor of the state. So this has further polarized and divided the state. So when these implosions or these explosions started happening, some said it was because the reason why Thiefnubu had to declare a state of emergency is, of what the Constitution says, right, is because he has realized that all sides can no longer work together. And since they can no longer work together, and they have started bombing the national infrastructure, so they have to act. He also said because Fubara never reached out to him, that is Thiefnubu, that Fubara did not reach out to him to report to him that he's having problem in his state. And because he didn't reach out to him, that is the reason why Thiefnubu had to remove Fubara from the office. So what happened to Wike? Some people are asking, is he just going to now work? Say, well, Wike has no real constitutional role in Rivers State. And Wike is not also listed in the Supreme Court case or the court cases generally. So therefore, Thiefnubu cannot punish Wike. So a lot of people have said. And in the height of it, or should I say, what really triggered it, according to some side, is that once Fubara, so those of you who have said that Fubara it looks so weak, you know what I mean? I allow all of this to happen. Others are saying that that is the reason why Wike actually chose him, among other the Jugununs that are surrounding him and singing his praises. Fubara is considered as the lowest IQ, who has it doesn't have it in name to stand up to Wike, the same Wike, right? There once, I have a video, I don't know if I still have it. Remember this Wike, when he was fighting Amechi, and he only had, if you remember, he only had just 6 members of House of Assembly. I don't know if some of you even remember. Chidi Lloyd, when Chidi Lloyd had to break mace on the head of some, you remember? So what is happening to Fubara right now also happened to Wike, and according to him, Amechi was such an ungrateful former governor of the state. It's the state that gave him everything. And look at what Rotifni, Amechi, was paying the state back. This was a throwback, by the way.
Need peace in the state. You can see that a man who does not love the state. Today, you can see his comments. So it is not in his place to decide. And it is that impunity, that Godfatherism he wants to play. It is impunity. He will decide everything that happens. He will decide for your party. He will also decide for the entire River State. This state gave you governor for 8 years. Under this state, he became a minister. Is that the thank you give to the state for making you whom you are, for bringing you up to this level? Instead of you to see how you can hack this in your state, make your state of development. Each day you wake up is to cast aspersion on your state. That is not good. It is no person that has the sense will continue to do that, because I believe, what do I gain? What do I gain as a person if I destroy my state? Of what benefit is it to me? This is a state I owe everything to. So I need that peace. I need that development in that state. And you cannot. But each time you go out, you cast aspersion on the state, you say this about the state, you bring down the state, you continue to deceive people. Why? Of what purpose? Anything that will not come to you is bad. If you are not the one who dictates a whole state that have population of not less than 6 million, you think you can continue to dictate to them. And let us see how you dictate the state and put in your pocket. That's why look at voting. By the time, because if this government believes in fighting corruption, as they say, they can't be talking this way. He can't. Because it's all over the place. What does he achieve that you wake up, you go on television to bring down your state? What does he achieve? We need peace in the state. You can see that a man who...
So that was with a Wike years back, before he finally gained control of the state, replaced the Amaechi's loyalists, the Amaechi's own thugs. He got them replaced with his own loyalists and thugs. And I bet when Fubara said this a few days ago, it was like the final nail on his political coffin, as decided inside the asshole rock, where Fubara said,
no matter how we've been fooled in this state, it has gotten to a point where this state have decided to take their destiny by their hands. Inasmuch as I don't subscribe to violence, when the time comes for us to take a decision, I will lead the cause for that decision. Let me say it again, and let me say it again. I'm not scared of anything. The worst that will happen is me to leave the office. It's not. Am I leaving the earth? Is it going to stop me from existing? So I'm not even bothered about that. But the right thing must be done and must be said when the opportunity is given to us. So let me thank everyone, more especially our youth. Be strong. Don't be backed up. Be strong. I assure you, at the right time, you will get the instruction.
So they said Fubara was the one who said he would give instructions to the youth to vandalize the government property and stuff like that. So when the Trans-Niger pipeline was said to have been sabotaged, it was a minor sort of scratch. So it's been fixed and it's working again. So then we've had like 2 or 3 other explosions after that, even after the announcement of, or the declaration rather, of the state of emergency. So for those people who have been reacting, right, just before we get to the Attorney General's defense of all this action, one of them is this garbage from northern Nigeria. His name is Garbage something. What is his name again? Right, I'll show you his face, his own position. Among those who were singing the defense of Bukwari at the time. So right now, it seems like they are moving to the other side.
This evening, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has passed a state of emergency on Rivers State. The state of emergency orders the suspension of the governor of Rivers State, Similaye Fubara, the National Assembly, and then appointed a former naval officer, a vice admiral, a retired vice admiral, to be a sole administrator to govern Rivers State. Remember that there has been a crisis between the governor of Rivers State and his predecessor, Nyesom Wike, about the control of the politics and the structures and the governance system of Rivers State. It has passed through different legal challenges, breaking laws from both the two sides, and a lot of confusion, where you now have the State High Court giving contrary judgments with the Federal High Court, and now we now have a Supreme Court judgment coming to override all the judgment, and a lot of back and forth, right? So the president have constitutional powers to grant a state of emergency, yes, but the president will have to seek two-thirds majority of the National Assembly to confirm the operationality of the state of emergency. So we wait and see what the National Assembly will do to confirm the complete operationalization of this state of emergency. But my fear is that the crisis in Rivers State is almost like an ethnic crisis between the Ijaw and the other ethnic groups in Rivers State. The Ijaw people are feeling isolated, alienated by some of the actions of the predecessor of Simila Fubara, who is the current Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike. So we pray that this could not boomerang into crisis. We pray that so many of the citizens of that area will not say they will want to resist this particular state of emergency. However, it is important that all of us keep calm and wait for the system to play out, and that people in the Delta need to a little bit calm down and look through the law. If you don't feel like the state of emergency is done on equitable terms, then you pass through the mechanisms of the law and try to challenge it. But the situation whereby you try to take the laws into your hand is going to be morang into a lot of crisis. Remember, we have a lot of crisis already in the north, especially the northwest and the northeast and the north central. We also have crisis in the southeast. If we now allow south, which is the economic backbone of Nigeria, more particularly Rivers State, where nearly 45% of the oil that brings forex to Nigeria, get into crisis, then the whole country is going to experience a very serious economic downturn to the tune that is unimaginable. So therefore, it is not a good thing now that we should take one side or the other, but to try to seek conciliation. People like us are asking for the suspension of the minister of the FCT, because he is also part of the instigators. That will bring about some semblance of balance and justice, but the two culprits are now paying the price for instigating a crisis that led to the declaration of state of emergency in that particular state. So maybe if Wike 2 is suspended, you have Simila Fubara, as suspended, then maybe there could be some balance and some people will not feel like they are shortchanged. But we, the ordinary citizens, need to pick calm. Let us not instigate the crisis, let us not take side, and let us manage the situation very carefully so that there can be no nasty and negative reaction.
Right. That is a garbage from somewhere in northern Nigeria. The NBA and their reaction. But before we even get to that, or further reactions, here is the position of the man that actually gave Thiefnubu the legal advice to go ahead and declare a state of emergency in Rivers State, Ifagbe, Attorney General of Nigeria.
Don't forget, I think yesterday there was a notice of impeachment from the House of Assembly. If that impeachment had been allowed to take its full course, then the governor would have lost entirely and completely. So in a way, if you say it's a compromise, I will agree that instead of allowing the impeachment process to continue, and which in the end would have seen both the governor and the deputy governor out of office and mean out for the entirety of the 4-year term, with the remainder of what we have. We have 1 year, I think about 9 months now. Yes. So leaving is it a balance or so of 2 years and 2 months? Thank you. 2 years, 2 months. So if normalcy returns, some other things may come in. But for now, well, maybe it's a compromise. I will agree. The extraordinary situations. The second one is about, removing the governor, removing the deputy governor. You see, you decide each case on its own peculiar facts and circumstances. Who are the people involved? Who are the parties involved in this saga? They are the governor,
members of the House of Assembly. So who else should have been affected? I've heard this funny argument. I'm sorry for saying it is funny because it doesn't make any sense to me. Oh, that the president should have just gone there to secure the pipelines and then come back. When some people are there and vandals to come in. The action of the president is what happened is the effect of a fundamental cause, and you cannot be treating the cause, the effect, in order to cure the cause. What was the cause? The governor and members of the House of Assembly. So you don't try to. You have to behave responsibly, and you must have the guts. If it happens again, I will encourage Mr. President to do the same. Maybe this time with even greater vigor and vitality. So the question of separating or treating or giving preferential treatment to anybody does not arise. You give preferential treatment to anybody, you are giving preferential treatment to hooliganism. Just call a spade a spade. This is where I believe that we should put up our patriotism cap. It shouldn't be about individual. It should not be about anybody. It should be about the entity called Nigeria. But in this case, the River State. So it is River State's turn today. It can be anybody's turn tomorrow. Let the signal be clearly signed for those who want to foment trouble, who want to make the practice of democracy and enjoyment of dividend of democracy a mirage, to think twice. So I answer the question by saying I return the resounding no to the quest that the governor and deputy governor should have been spared, or the members of the House of Assembly. They were all in it. So then the other one is about compromise. What remains is, if the National Assembly feels that the president has not done well, then you won't have the 2/3 majority required to validate his action. Certainly, you know, it's like a situation in which the veto usually is on the side or with Mr. President when a bill is presented. But the converse is the same here, that it is the president who is initiating a move. I want to declare a state of emergency. He has to make that move, and he made that clear in his speech, in his broadcast yesterday, that I've taken this decision and I've referred the matter to the National Assembly. It is for the National Assembly to now say we veto. That is to say, we don't give you approval. And since the National Assembly is still in session, we expect that within 48 hours, something will come out of it. So if whoever has any misgiving, any concern, I would say should channel it to the National Assembly to say, don't give the required 2/3 approval that is they need. Otherwise, we should all, like I said, continue to put up our patriotism cap. Then the last in the series.
Sorry about that. You heard him loud and clear that he believes that Thiefnubu has acted rightly. And it should also, this should also be a sign or a warning to other people that might want to foment trouble. It is the turn of River State today. It will be the turn. It will be the turn of any other state tomorrow. So he can remove governors at whenever he, whenever he feels like or advised to. There is no breakdown of law and order in River State prior to this announcement. There has not been any breakdown of law and order. The National Assembly that was supposed to be the first point of call for Thiefnubu is now his last point of call. And he's already said it there that even if the National Assembly fails to approve it, Thiefnubu will veto it, which means the declaration of the state of emergency states. Here is a Seriake Dixon, a PDP senator, his position on this and why today, when Akpabio raised the issue, they have to hurriedly adjourn because they need 73 members of the Nigerian Senate. They need 240 members in the the House of Representatives, as well as 73 members in the Senate to approve this declaration. If they reject it, that simply means that the declaration made by Thiefnubu becomes null and void. But they are already talking about veto power, where if the National Assembly rejects this, Thiefnubu has already sworn in an administrator. Anyway, here is the position of one of the senators. The first one is Seriake Dixon.
Today, and a decision, the process, a decision reached, but it appears as though there was very little discussion, and the whole process has bin adjourned.
No. It's also, Charles, yes, Nigerians have a right to expect, after all, we are their representatives. We're elected by them to represent them. And I know that expectation is high, and we could have done it today. But you see, the Constitution has prescribed rules. This emergency rule is a very serious constitutional development.
Indeed.
It's one of the most serious constitutional developments. And the framers of the Nigerian Constitution took their time, not only in regulating strictly the conditions under which it can be imposed. And let me be clear, none of this talks about removal of elected officials. None of it. In other words, the expectation is that the president, even when he declares a state of emergency, can do so to strengthen and aid the elected officials, not to replace them.
So if it's that important, why didn't you guys discuss it today?
By the Constitution, after the declaration, which the president has done, what he has done has not actually completed the declaration. The president has only started the process.
Yeah, but he's sworn in the administration.
Yes, whatever he has done is inchoate. It has not crystallized. The powers of emergency under Section 305 have not crystallized. In other words, legally speaking, constitutionally speaking, there's no effective emergency rule now.
Until it is.
Until the Senate and the House,
the
National Assembly, collectively speaking, by 2/3 majority. You see how the Constitution recognizes that it's an extraordinary situation. Now, the constitutional requirement is for the president to forward that proclamation to the National Assembly.
Well, he said he has.
And it has to be gazetted and sent.
He said he has.
Now, when they receive, the Speaker and the Senate President, as they normally do every morning, they will read communications from the executive. That has to be presented. Once that is presented, then the process of the National Assembly's participation in this emergency rule process has kicked in. For now, today we expected it. I was there. A lot of members were there. And we all have our views. There may be some who are in support, but I can tell you it will be a difficult thing to get it passed. And let me tell you, the Constitution says 2/3 majority. In other words, of the total number, not of the people who are present. And but there are some of us who, because we take this seriously, it's an ideological issue. It's not just personal. It's not because of Fubara. It's not because of Amehule. It's not because it's an APC government doing it. No. It is, for some of us, ideological. It has to be a matter of protecting the sovereignty of the peoples of Rivers State and then the democratic rights within our constitution.
Would you be surprised if the Senate passes that?
I'll be very surprised. First of all,
move by the president?
Oh yes, because it has to be supported by 2/3 of members.
Well, you need at least 73 senators.
About 73 senators.
Yeah.
Not only will you have 73 senators in attendance, it means that of the members who are present, you understand? 73 must vote in support. The same number that can enthrone a leadership of the 2/3. In the case of the House of Reps, 240 members. In the case of the Nigerian Senate, where I'm a member, 73 of us will have to agree. Okay? And some of us, as I've said, for ideological consistency, in defense of the democracy of our country, in defense of the Constitution, in defense of the sovereignty of the peoples of Rivers State, we are ideologically opposed to it.
Right.
Yes.
This is, of course...
Again, this is meant to be a bigger showdown. Like you say, okay, well, this makes sense because at the National Assembly, APC, out of 360 House of Representative members, APC, controls about 197 or so. So which means they need extra 60 to 70, 60 or so extra from the opposition to join them to pass it. The Senate, out of 109 members, APC, currently have 58 members. The remaining 51 members or senators, they are opposition. So they are going to need enough number of these guys to make up the 73. It's getting interesting. To Jimo Ibrahim, who is also a senator on the side of Thiefnubu, to him, he's done nothing wrong, and they will pass and approve the declaration of emergency in Rivers State. His own position.
Yes. My colleague wants to know, what's your take on the decision of the Senate not taking the proclamation of the president?
That is the beauty of the Senate. The Senate is a democratic institution, and the Senate has given room for more members who is not aware of this yesterday, but got to know about it today, to be able to come tomorrow and air their views. Democracy is about numbers, it's about participation. So what we are saying is that we can adjourn it tomorrow in order to give room for more people to come. We formed quorum today, 68 people were signed the register. If you now accept 17 leaders of the Senatorate, we are more than a quorum. We could as well go on. But we don't want to say, oh, it was 3 o'clock they brought it, when members are already praying, they are fasting, and then there were not many people on the floor. That's the time they passed the proclamation. No. First thing tomorrow morning, information I got to other members. Some members are fasting, they are praying in their homes. Tomorrow they will be here, and then by 10 o'clock, we pick it up. We are in tendium with Mr. President. I am in tendium with Mr. President, because this borders on life and security. We don't joke with life and security. You know, like I said, Thomas Soup said, life of human being will solemnly poor. British. And then, of course, it will be, unheard of if the Leviathan will stop doing nothing when it's supposed to do something when there's a threat to life and property. And let me say, the president did not dissolve democratic institutions. This president only suspended for 6 months. And this 6 months will enable parties to go to the table, iron out their differences, and come so that there can be peace in Rivers State and by extension Nigeria. So I think the president have acted in accordance with the Constitution. It was Professor Wamboze who said clearly that the president of Nigeria have right to duty, right, to protect and enforce the laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To do otherwise will be disastrous.
Some stakeholders have said what is happening in Rivers is not enough for a state of emergency. The president talked about vandalization of pipelines. There are agencies that have that responsibility to safeguard the pipelines. Why hold the government responsible for that?
Maybe people don't understand what is happening. Let me use you as a woman as an example. When you put hot water on the pot and you put fire in your cylinder, you can put your hand inside the water and be playing. In 10 minutes, will your hand remain there? Who will tell you to remove your hand? Because the steam of the water has come up, so you cannot avoid to put your hand. Without anybody telling you, you remove your hand quickly. But when you first put the water inside the hot pot, you can put your hand and be playing, even when you put fire. So this is exactly how war looks like. It starts blooming up. The earlier you quench the fire, the better for you. Otherwise, you're going to get your fingers burned. And that's what the president have done. And there's no amount of money you spend on protecting life and property that is too small. No, it's painful. A liberalist like Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we ordinarily don't want to declare a state of emergency. If you read his speech, he said, he started Supreme Court, I intervened, I called this, I called that. These are liberalists. Realists who are, we write that kind of speech. No, this guy is a realist who is exhaustive with power. And they just got to declare,
tell you I spoke to he will declare, yeah, they move people, governor with 4 legislators before. But here we have a liberalist trying to do sanity of democracy being protected. So we must appreciate the fact. I as a senator, like I said, I'm very much intended because I don't joke with issues of security. This is very important.
Some people have accused the president of being biased because he instigated this crisis. I never cautioned him at some point in time.
The president
the big stick went to the government.
Yeah, the president is on the Supreme Court. I think if you said the president is biased, what about the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court went far than the president. The president, when the High Court says, keep the money of Rivers State in escrow account, Supreme Court said no, release the money to them. The High Court says, keep the money in escrow. President says, release the money to them. Technically, he has a tab and give them their money to be doing their thing. What does the Supreme Court say? Supreme Court says, escrow the money, don't release 1 kobo. So who is more biased? Is it the Supreme Court or the president? Supreme Court exercises wider power because they are looking at the law. But the president was talking about liberalism approach, cooperation and collaboration to make sure that we foster peace. But Supreme Court, look, it was Justice Holmes in 1644. He had this to say: the prophecy of what the court.
Nuisance lele. Nuisance lele.
Jimo Ibrahim. I don't know if it's just me. It looks, it kind of look like shrunk, or is it that it looks aged? It's like he just aged somehow. I don't know if it's just me. Anyway, he's the pro Thiefnubu, and I never expected him to say anything different. All right. So at the National Assembly today, at the House of Representatives, it seems that it will be difficult for Thiefnubu to actually secure to third majority to approve this declaration of state of emergency. So it seems. Similarly at the Senate, and he has answered that to say only 63 or so of them came today. So that means it's not enough to form the quorum to vote. At the House of Representatives, some of the members were saying and could be heard shouting, in a shouting match, and where one of them was even shouting, "Who is Wike? Who is Wike?" This and that. And that seems like trouble that looms as well. The first obstacle that Thiefnubu is likely going to face, or maybe the second one. Remember, the first one was when Thiefnubu decided to declare war on Nigeria Republic. Yeah, with the public outcry and everybody's rejection to that idea, the Akwabiole Senate eventually rejected Thiefnubu's request to invade Nigeria Republic. So this may be another scenario that is that is tilting towards that at the House of Representatives earlier this morning. But it wasn't that rancorous or rowdy at their Senate when Okoye moved the motion that they should adjourn the sitting for the day to attend to other business of the National Assembly and reconvene again tomorrow to discuss this state of emergency declaration where Thiefnubu removed and elected the governor and the deputy governor, the power that people believe he doesn't even have. But Nigeria is a lawless place. Is kind of like moved on, where Supreme Court said the allocation of river states should be put in escrow. In escrow, right? And it shouldn't be returned to them until Fubara submit the state budget to the State House of Assembly. And the State House of Assembly will let Fubara submit this budget. Therefore, meaning the allocation of the state cannot be released. But Thiefnubu has now ordered that this allocation should be released immediately to the administrator without the State House of Assembly or any assembly to appropriate on that yet. So at the Senate today, Okoye on the matter.
To move that what is listed as the first order of the day be stood down to enable us consider the second order of the day. And I make the motion, I move the motion pursuant to Order 1B of our rules. And if that is seconded and carried, that what is listed as the second order be now deemed to be the first order of the day. I so move, Mr. President.
Well, Order 1B says that the Senate can regulate itself. So I would like to fix time for it. The first order of the day, you have just moved a motion for us to step it down to 3 p.m. to enable us to consider other issues. Distinguished Minority Leader, you may wish to second the motion that we step the first order of the day down to 3 p.m. to enable us to consider other issues of the day.
Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the Senate do step down the first order of the day
to 3
to
p.m.
enable
to 3 p.m. to 3 p.m.
to 3 p.m. to enable the Senate to consider other matters on the other paper. I so second.
Distinguished colleagues, the motion has been moved and seconded that the first order of the day should be stepped down to 3 p.m. to enable us to consider other issues. Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. One man's voice cannot constitute the Senate. Yes, the leader of the Senate. The next item.
Thank you, Mr. President. And for the record, Mr. President and distinguished colleagues, I didn't mention the order because to the extent that every distinguished
the next
senator
item,
has...
please. No, next item.
Yes, every distinguished senator has a copy of the order paper.
Next item.
The next order of the day is the presentation and consideration of the report of the Committee on Police. Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, I rise to move that we do suspend other items on the order paper for today to enable our various committees to proceed with their committee meetings and attend to various stakeholders who have been invited to appear before their various committees, and that other items be stepped down for another legislative day. Mr. President, I so move.
Minority Leader.
Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, I rise to second the motion that the Senate suspends all other items on the order paper to the next legislative day. I so second.
We are getting to the interesting part little by little. Since yesterday, nobody has heard from Fubara. When Thiefnubu made that announcement yesterday, declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State and sacking the governor and deputy governor, some first contingent of military raised down to the government house in Port Harcourt, where they took over the entire state, including Fubara and his family in the government house, where they were held down until the order from above directed them to move them to an undisclosed location, where it is not certain if Fubara is currently even being held under arrest or detained somewhere, because he hasn't been seen in public. His own, personal aid, they've released statements to, calm the people in the state down and tell them that they are on the matter and is being resolved. Nobody has physically seen Fubara in the last 24 hours and his family. Nobody knows what's going on with them as we speak. This is not because you need to feel sorry or pity them. It's just to kind of make you understand the coordinated impunity that is taking place in that contraption as we speak. There are those who are praising Thiefnubu for majority, calling him out and calling out this action. The Nigerian Bar Association also released a statement which is in condemnation of this same action of Thiefnubu. Here is a part of that.
On to a resolution passed by the Rivers State House of Assembly on Wednesday, the 12th day of March, 2025, directing the Department of State Security to investigate the Rivers State Chief Judge on allegations of falsification of age. It is quite unfortunate that despite the already heated polity in Rivers State, we are still experiencing escalations such as this. We recognize the constitutional powers and roles of the three arms of government in the state. We also recognize the need for these arms of government to work in synergy for the peace, progress, and development of the state. Thus, there is need for mutual respect amongst all the parties. We are not unaware of the existing political impasse between the legislature and the executive arms of government in Rivers State. However, we must caution that the judiciary should not be drawn into the ongoing imbroglio for no just cause. We reiterate that the independence of the judiciary is crucial to the sustenance of peace and stability in the state, as contending parties ultimately resort to the judiciary for the resolution of disputes, as has recently been witnessed at the Supreme Court. There is no need to escalate tensions, as the stability of Rivers State is crucial to the economy of the state and the country. We can easily recall the incidences in 2024 to 2025, which exposed the judiciary and judicial officers. 2014 to 2025, rather, which exposed 2014 to 2015, which exposed the judiciary and judicial officers that resulted in the closure of our courts. We cannot afford to experience a similar occurrence in the present times we find ourselves in the state, and especially for the interest of the good people of Rivers State to have their ongoing matters in court without interruptions. Every action in the public service has a prescribed procedure which all should respect and observe to forestall chaos and anarchy in the state. In the case of the judiciary, any complaint against one of its officers is dealt with by the National Judicial Council, which alone has the authority to carry out any disciplinary action or authorize any investigation against any judge. The role of security agencies is clearly defined, and they also must respect due process and work within the ambit of the law. It is therefore advised that the judiciary should not be intimidated into succumbing to blackmail bullying, or political pressure in the discharge of their duties. The need for the protection of the judiciary cannot be overemphasized, as the
protection of judiciary, with what this judiciary has already caused in their contraption. In Rivers States, of course, people have started reacting, especially women who are distraught more about all of this based on their own expression. One of them, Fubara, was even crying. You know, remember that lady that was convicted of murder a while back or so? Yeah, then absolved of it at the end of the day. That actress, so that's Hilda Dokubo. I don't think she's Asari Dokubo's sister, but that name. They were all out to express their disappointments in the turn of events in the state. Watch this.
So why are you tagging the governor and the deputy? What has the deputy done wrong in all of this? So there's a plot, there's somebody's dream that must come true because perhaps he thinks he's bigger than the rest of the world. So what has the president been listening to? Who has he been talking to? Because it looks as if, you know, everything is wrong with Fubara, but nothing is wrong with his minister. Before that, the EK clerk died, he called him and he said, call your minister to order. He was governor when he was fighting Chibuike Rotimi. Rivers people stood by him because what Rivers people do not like is oppression of any kind. If you have finished and you have to go, let the next person serve. You don't stick yourself on top of the person's head, yelling down. What is the problem? Can Wike come out and tell people what the problem is, other than saying, I made you a governor? Other than that, even by that statement alone, shouldn't he be in prison? How do you single-handedly make anybody? Isn't somebody supposed to become governor by the votes of the people? Is anybody supposed to be anything by just one man's singular act? You know, so it's just sad that the lawyers will give interpretations to this. It's just very sad. All morning, all I've been doing is trying to read the Constitution again as to whether the president has the right to suspend the governor. The two of them were voted in, with whatever other way they want to put it. That's what they want all of us to believe, that they were voted. So let's take that their sentence and run with it. Does he have the right? He perhaps has rights to declare state of emergency if there are emergencies, right, for which this needs to be declared. But up to Tuesday, there was none. There was absolutely none. I reside in Port Harcourt. I go out every single day to do my work, and all of you know how my work can be. It's inside every bush and every street and everything. So no, there was no emergency. And we haven't heard any news of any blown up pipe until they came in on Saturday and left. So they should tell us what happened. Who blew up the pipe? They need to tell us. Asari Dokubo had made a statement. He said he called his boys back because he knew they wanted to set him up, and he will not allow them do that. He's now an amenable of the source, so he will not. So they should tell us, not put the blame on Tinala Fubara. And the team didn't come out to say anything. What is he supposed to say? Everything he has ever said has been used against him. So what?
Now you have crippled people, and all we see is wah. What for? Because of one man? I will say it over and over and over. What's going on in Rivers State is not similar in Fubara. What's going on in Rivers State is a combat for the economic soul of Rivers State. Somebody wants to grab the economic soul of Rivers State. The soul of Rivers State, for 24 years, they kept milking us. That was how our money was flying all over our heads. It is here today, it is there tomorrow. It is funding all kinds of foolishness. This is the first time that civil servants have been paid the 13 months. Every Christmas for 2 years, civil servants get paid. Civil servants have been paid all their salaries. For the first time, there are roads connecting the riverine communities. It has never happened. They told us, they lied to us, they told us our terrain was too bad. Now we know our terrain is not bad. Now we know. He told us that we can have election here, and it can be any way but no war, no bloodshed, no gun shooting. And it happened here. And it happened here. Today you have told everybody to go. He says yes. You say go and resubmit a budget. He writes, he says, come and choose with me a befitting place that you want so that I can present this budget. You made it impossible for him. He wrote, I am coming to you. You locked him out. He wrote again to say, I will still come again. And you wrote to him as reply that for insubordination or whatever. And then the next thing you do is...
We found peace finally. And then today you come out and you see army people driving around like there's something going on that is wrong. This is not right. This is not right. We are at peace. Let our children, let our families be at peace. Let people go to work at peace. All these army people driving about, this is not right. This is not right. This is not right. Our governor is peaceful. We love him. Leave us in peace. What is all this? Emotion is not in politics. We agree. But we want peace. We want peace. This is too much to us. This is not right. This is not fair. This is not right. I move back to...
That's the women group. The other ones are the men group, who also said this.
So the president, you have enjoyed peace as far as the Niger Delta people is concerned, because the Ijaw people have given you peace. You have enjoyed all level of peace. Watching your minister, because I don't want to think that Wike is acting his own script. It has happened in the history of Nigeria when a Yoruba man was that this is a plot to kill another Ijaw son. Ijaw nation will resist this by any means necessary, because we live by the doctrine of self-determination and resource control by any means necessary. We are not a conquered entity. Mr. President, we love you as a people. We want peace for your administration. Please call your minister Wike to order. He shouldn't cause breakdown of law and order. Because remember, all the oil that fuels this nation still lies in our territories. And we can pursue everybody. We own this land. It is our land. We will not compromise the integrity and the interests of our people. Mr. President, we call on you to call your minister Wike to order. You cannot be on a bottle of whiskey. And so the president.
So about the explosions and what is it like in Rivers State? Of course, right now in Rivers State, people are now getting to see military trucks parading the state capital in Port Harcourt, showing the what's called a show of force, and more of them are still being sent over, as well as the report of, as much as the report of explosions continue to filter in from the states. So few of places where they have listed to tell us, places where we've had explosions today. What's that place called again? There's one called the NNPC Flow Station. They've come out to deny and debunk that. But the eyewitness who made videos of these two explosions, all right, put them or posted them online. I have joined them all here, including the military presence in Port Harcourt, the state capital, in the last 24 hours. Again, nobody knows where the suspended governor and the deputy governor and their family, nobody knows where they are as we speak. But from Rivers State, what it looks like, apart from the reported calm, that there's been no crisis, there's no riots, people have been protesting, but it wasn't like that's a massive scale. For the fires, well, here is some.
see what is happening in Rivers State, where we have state of emergency because of someone was videoing and the person was caught. Someone was holding the camera and they had to stop and arrest the person. Soldiers are everywhere in Rivers State. Like, it's crazy. Even here, if you look.
Go ahead, go ahead. No, you know, I don't pass out. Let's push. All right, now.
I'm waiting they happen for PH now. Jesus Christ, bro. What's happening? What the fuck? This is crazy, man. Nigga, shift the fuck up.
This one. We need Jesus. Element Father is currently on fire, guys. It's happening right now in Rivers State. Jesus Christ, I think I need to leave this place. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus Christ, this is happening today. Element Father on fire.
Again, all of these are considered as the reactions to the Thiefnubu's declared state of emergency. And there is, or should I say there are, more planned to still happen as we count more days, because a lot of the people are asking Thiefnubu to reverse himself, and if he can't reverse himself, the National Assembly should save face by voiding this declaration, because it doesn't make any real sense. But to Thiefnubu and his gang, it is a foregone issue. In fact, like many other things is done in the past, this is one of them, and it is irreversible. You will live with it. Others are already spreading the rumor that Fubara is somewhere where they are trying to force him to resign as governor. Instead of coming back after that 6 months, he will just say he's throwing in the towel, he's no longer interested. This is not confirmed, by the way, but there are people already spreading the rumor until they hear from Fubara himself. So like tomorrow again, where it is expected, fire exchanges and all of that at the National Assembly and almost across all the media houses as well. Here, about 11 years ago, when Goodluck Ebere Jonathan also declared a state of emergency in some local government areas in 3 states, not the whole states. So Ruben Akpati, who happened to be this presidential spokesperson for Ebere Jonathan at the time, in a throwback video, defended why Jonathan, right, couldn't remove or didn't remove the elected governor and the status of assembly when he declared a state of emergency on the Boko Haram terrorists at the time? Just briefly.
The President's position on the declaration of state of emergency in some states. I'm now being joined on the news by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Dr. Ruben Abati. Well, thank you for joining us today. Now, some lawyers say Section 305 of the 1999 Constitution was silent on the details of what the President can do. What is the rationale behind leaving the governors in office?
Well, what people must note is that what the President has done is lawful and constitutional. There is no part of the Constitution that gives the President of Nigeria the powers to remove a state governor or political office holders, particularly under the circumstances of the declaration of emergency. And the relevant sections of the Constitution to consider will include sections 1 and 2 of the Constitution, Section 11, subsection 4, where it is expressly stated that not even the National Assembly can remove a state governor. If you look also at Section 217, what it says is that when, under these circumstances, the armed forces are deployed to put down an insurrection or to check the breakdown of law and order, those armed forces, security forces, are expected to act in aid of the civilian authorities. And then the other relevant sections will be sections 180, section 188, and section 189, dealing with the tenure of office of a governor and then circumstances under which a governor can be removed. It's also important to note that under section 305, subsection 4 thereof, indeed, a state governor can also make representation to a state house of assembly asking for the proclamation of a state of emergency. And where a state governor fails to do so, then, the president can intervene and act as President Jonathan has acted. So it's a constitution, that has guided the president, and to the extent that the constitution is the ground norm, and we're, committed to the rule of law, anything to the contrary will have been unlawful and will have been unconstitutional.
All right, we also have...
This was about 11 years ago. And today, Akpati is now, an analyst on a TV station, national TV in Nigeria. His position today on the same matter.
Okay, very quickly. Let me first comment from an interpretation of the Constitution, which the President himself highlighted. He said he was acting within the purview of Section 305 of the Constitution. Section 305 of the Constitution explains the circumstances under which the President shall declare a state of emergency. And the conditions are properly stated. If the country is facing a threat of war or imminent war, is Nigeria facing the threat of war in Rivers State? That's one question. It also talks about, a situation whereby something could happen in any part of the Federation where, Nigeria could find itself in a chaotic situation. The President is required to act. Number 3, where the governor in that particular state does not immediately respond, to the crisis situation and does not approach the President to act in the national interest. So those conditions are properly spelled out. However, that same Section 305 says that the President, will give a proclamation which will be gazetted, and then will go to the National Assembly, and the National Assembly, if it's in session within, 48 hours, would act. If it's in recess, within 10 days, will act. If the National Assembly does not consider that particular proclamation, gazetted proclamation, valid, then it will vote otherwise. 2/3 majority of the two houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives, and if that happens, the decision is abated. Okay? Now, because we are constrained by time, let me now say that Section 305, which the President quoted, is the operative principle. Now, let's look at what the President said. I think that the President has violated the Constitution, even within the purview of Section 305. And he has violated the Constitution because he was not properly advised to respect that section of the Constitution. In what regard did he violate that section of the Constitution? In fact, he acted as the dictator by saying that the administrator that he has appointed can make regulations and laws will be made for the Rivers State House of Assembly henceforth by the Federal Executive Council. The Federal Executive Council does not have such powers. Section 11 of the same Constitution says that, look, when there is a state of emergency, it's only the National Assembly that can make laws for a state house of assembly. Now, President Tinubu has appropriated unto himself the powers to make laws for the River State House of Assembly. That's an impeachable offense. I don't know whether the National Assembly will have the courage either to reject his gazetted proclamation or to proceed on an issue of impeachment against him for violating the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now, the other relevant portion of the Constitution is Section 188. Section 188 of the Constitution spells out how a governor can be removed from office. A governor cannot be removed from office by the proclamation of the President of Nigeria. It can only be removed if there is gross misconduct, as put as an allegation by the House of Assembly, and then the CJ is advised to form a panel of reasonable people, people of distinguished qualities in the state. And if that panel now decides, within the purview of Section 188, that those allegations are wrong, that puts an end to that process. The president has not followed that. He has acted unilaterally. Section 1, subsection 2 of the same Constitution says that this country, called Nigeria, cannot be governed except by the provisions of the Constitution. There is no provision in the 1999 Constitution that says that the president of Nigeria can unilaterally remove a governor, remove the deputy governor, remove the legislature of a state in Nigeria. So again, that proves that this is a violation of the Constitution. I go to the third leg of my analysis, which is to say that who advised the president? The people who advised the president must be called to order. Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, is a very distinguished lawyer. I don't understand how Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, arrived at this advice. And I also say that retired Vice Admiral Ibokete Ibas, if he's a patriot and a citizen, he must reject this appointment, making him sole administrator of Rivers State, because it is a wrong appointment and his own integrity has been called to order. Whatever may be the motivations, he must act as a citizen and issue a statement forthwith to say that he will not be party to the violation of the Constitution. Now, what argument are they putting up? It has been said that, Obasanjo did this when he was president. After all, he removed Dari in Plateau, he removed Fayose in the Ekiti. Look, at that time, Akinolu Jimi, SAN, who was Attorney General, was relying, I think, on the 1960 Constitution. The explanation that he offered, that the 1960 Constitution and the emergency, the Declaration of State Emergency Act of 1961, allowed the federal government to remove a governor or remove a legislature. Now, it was wrong. Because at the time he was making that statement, with due respect, the operative law in Nigeria was, either it was the 1999 Constitution. So Akinolujimi saying it was 1960 Constitution, 1961 Declaration of Emergency Act was just using political expediency to justify the illegality that President Obasanjo engaged in. And people who are quoting the Obasanjo president must realize that an armed robber cannot say that because one armed robber got away with it, so you also have a right to commit armed robbery. That is wrong. The second point that I would like to make, again with due respect, is that people have been referring to the Jonathan period, that Jonathan declared a state of emergency in about 3 states of the Federation, Adamawa, Borno, I think Yobe. Now, that argument has been settled by Mohammed Bello Adoke, who was Attorney General of that time, in his book, The Burden of Service. I don't remember the specific pages. But as a reviewer of that book, I reviewed that book on the back page of this. I recall that Mohammed Adoke argued that there's nowhere in the Constitution that the president is empowered, that's 1979, 1999 Constitution, that the president is empowered to remove a sitting governor or remove a sitting House of Assembly. And that was why under President Jonathan, no governor was removed, no deputy governor was removed, no state House of Assembly was sacked, no local government chairman was even removed in those 3 states. So the people who are just making argument about president, they are speaking out of ignorance. And I recommend Adoke's book for them to find.
That's quite detailed, by the way, very rich. That is just for everyone who wants to try and make, rationality, of this. Because normally, it doesn't make any sense. Thiefnubu has committed an infraction in the process of trying to satisfy with a Wike, for whatever permutation they put together inside the ass old rock. Thiefnubu has committed an infraction. He has broken the law. Thiefnubu has committed an impeachable offense. So the question now is, who is going to bail the cat? The National Assembly? Or who? Because they are those who can actually investigate this. Finally, on this Rivers issue, you know about Mackenzie, that guy that became very popular by making comic content on social media. He has added his own voice to all of this. His own advice to the people of Rivers State is that they should stay away and let with the Wike and Fubara slug it out. What do you think?
Look, my fellow Rivers State people and all residents of Rivers State, especially the youths, you see this matter where they happen now for Rivers State? No be your matter, it no concern you. Now government versus government. Government say they get agreement with the other government. Now the agreement no hold. They get their personal matter. But because they have the power to change anything, let them change what they want to change. But what thing I want to let you know be say, no be your matter be this. Remember, we did a lot of joke about this thing, Seth. We joked about this thing. We did a lot of comedy. 2 years ago, we were warning that this was going to happen. Now, it don't happen. The government, they may see those videos, they pass, nothing, not joke, not skit they make. But now, even when we had groups, when we were talking about it, you don't they manifest now. So leave them, make them fight their fight. If they say, nah, military one rule us for 10 years, no wahala. As long as we can come out, do our businesses, eat, and progress in the society, no go carry another person fight, go they fight. How did the governor where they send group message for now, say we go do president, how they take enter power? All of us know now. So let them settle, let them know themselves. Let them settle their matter. No put hand though. I don't talk now. Somebody is calling me and telling me, in fact, I would use this opportunity. You know yourself. If you try that thing again, I will expose you, idiot. So now, don't allow anybody to tell you a protest on this thing or this. Now lie. Nothing like we no agree. We agree. Now them know what thing they do. Enter power. Now them still know what thing they will do to maintain their power. So we agree. Now when we come, they get insecurity anyhow. Now that time they go rest. So make we leave her. If army day, make army day secure everywhere. And we agree. No fool anybody do protest. We agree. Now very dark man go say, yeah, go and learn. Baba, may they learn their lesson, may they do their thing. No allow anybody pressure you for this thing. We live for River State. We love River State. After all, you say I'm not advocating for democracy. Baba, do we have democracy in the country? First, do we have democracy? If we have democracy, the governor that will go win. No aligning anybody. See, block those groups. This is not they pay me. I know. You know what? You try call me again. Tell me rubbish. You go talk whether your papa I want mobilize. Yeah.
You see, I kind of get his message. All right. As much as some of you would probably attack him or abuse him, but I get his message. What he's practically saying is that in River State, where Wike muzzled everyone, rigged the election, people did not really vote for Fubara, for real. Some people may try to gaslight you to make you think that, it's only Thiefnubu they didn't support. Baba, you see that when you do this, your obedient, what do you call it, from top to bottom. That's exactly what happened in River State. People were slaughtered, people were killed, right, by this Wike when they were chasing down the INEC officials, especially those ones who were youth coppers, when they were being chased down by Wike's armed thugs. Bloody videos are online. But the whole thing got changed, the whole result got changed overnight, and everybody couldn't do anything. So if Fubara and Wike had an agreement, and somehow they have now, decided to naked themselves in the public. So it is not the fight of those of you who rejected them in 2023 in the first place. But today everybody has taken sides. Those on the side of Fubara, it's not because they like Fubara, it's because they do not like Wike. Many of them have been waiting for the time that what they call the karma. Wike's karma, a lot of people who have been waiting for that believed or thought that Fubara would be that karma. So as the whole thing is now playing, as the whole thing is now turning on its own, right? Some people, now in Nigeria, people will pretend to side the, you see, when you see the oppressors, right? Pressing the neck of the oppressed, you will still get to see some other people that are going to be on the, they will be on the side of the one they believe is being cheated. In this case, it is Fubara. But Fubara himself is not restrained, is neck deep in this mess, is reaping what he sowed. That's what Mark-Angel is practically trying to say. But again, probably not the right time to be sarcastic about this situation. When they are not bombing the pipelines, they are tapping it for their own use, like these guys.
62 drum. All this one. 62 drum. How many of you inside this boat? How many of you inside this boat? Huh? Your name? Your name? Huh? And that what? Huh? You? Daniel who? Daniel Azuko? You who? Huh? Open your mouth. You? Huh? Oh, are you mad? You? Huh? Godwin? Auntie? Okay, alongside this your boat.
That's Nigeria. We continue to demand for the whereabouts of Fubara. Until we hear from Fubara, everyone should possibly consider the worst. We don't know what is going on with him. It is not like we do care like that. Or at least we should get to see him again since he wasn't arrested or locked up, or he wasn't ordered to be locked up. So wherever Fubara is, as we speak, right, a lot of us would like to know, and we would like to hear from him. And with the military taking over River State, does that mean that, as expected, every attempt to try to push back on this declaration by Thiefnubu will be rebuffed, and this whole thing may probably end up like it never happened? Kind of like, in another 1 week, everybody may just have forgotten about River State and be talking about something else, and Thiefnubu will get away with the impunity like he's been getting away with some of the illegality since he forced himself on you. Anyway, time shall tell. Natasha, who has become the pain in the ass of the establishment at the National Assembly of Nigeria, Natasha raised the alarm that they are planning to arrest her upon her return to Nigeria for disobeying the Akpabiole's Senate, and by disobeying Akpabiole, and attended the IPU meeting in New York, where she went to report Akpabiole's sexual harassment allegation. So she says she's heard that they were planning to arrest her whenever she returned back to Nigeria. Also, he said she had it, she has it on a very good authority that there is a plot to make Akpabiole step aside just for a day or two, so that they can now clear Akpabiole of any such, without listening or accepting our own witnesses or presentation of what really happened. They are planning to exonerate Akpabiole of any sexual harassment, and therefore also to extend in perpetuity suspension. Remember that a court ruled that a petition against Akpabiole should be looked into, and she must not be suspended by the Senate Committee on Ethics, but they still went on to suspend her. So the plan is to make sure that she never, gets unsuspended. She will remain suspended for the rest of her time, or maybe just push a recall. She is such a fighter from Kogi Central Senatorial District. Her record, and in fact, the support that she gets from her own people was the reason why she defeated Yeye Bello, the kleptomaniac, white lizard of Kogi at the time, who is now standing trial for looting over 107 billion naira when he was governor of Kogi State. So Natasha fought into the standstill, and she ended up in the Senate, a place where during the election, Yeye Bello took excavators, 2 excavators, right? 2 of them, it took them to the 2 roads that leads to Natasha's constituency to stop the election from taking place. So eventually they rigged the election, announced the Yeye Bello's candidate as winner, only for Natasha to go to court, and she won in court, and that's how she ended up in the Senate. So if you have to begin the process of recalling her, how, and with what everybody actually knows going on, especially our own constituents, how are you going to do it? So what did they do today? Yeye Bello, allegedly, and his own camp, they announced to the people of Natasha's constituency that there is, in fact, an empowerment program being brought to them by Yeye Bello, that everybody should assemble at a particular school in Kogi Central. Meanwhile, the plan was to get all of them to come around and write their names and sign. So as many signatures as possible that they can get, then they can begin the process of recalling Natasha. But they lied to the people by telling them to come for parliament. I'm sorry, palliative, rather. Parliament. Palliatives. And when the people got there, they realized that it was a plot to remove or recall Natasha from the Senate. So they felt disappointed, they felt lied to, and then deceived. That escalated so quickly. Let's go to that place before things got out of hand, before the women began to protest that they were deceived. And that was the end of the process of trying to recall Natasha. That's how it got flopped. Some said that millions of dollars have been moved or set aside for this project to recall Natasha. There is no evidence of that as well. But whether 3 million or 3,000, whether $3 million or 3 million naira, it seems that the process, the idea, fell flat before it even began, right? Let's go to that Kogi. Watch this.
Natasha la pa biya ko yanu se ja ne we na me to ja de o ya nyu ni no gon o tuni ni la bo de o adaba ni wa so ma ni de adaba ro ba na me o tu ku nyu ni no gon na pa no ne na bo ni de o ya nyu ne we na me to ja anana ka ba mo ne ne am na bo ni de o re na me o re ho le o nya ho le ku o yi mere ka wo ko nyu na ne o ya nyu ne ara yenu wele ka wo ko ya van we de me je o na bo nde o ya nyu ne ogon ne o ya nyu ne we la ko la ba si mo ba ono ko bi na we ta no o ya nyu ne wa ko ya ta ne o ya nyu ne ogon o ya nyu ne e du yo ka ba ko la no ko ne aba ku ni yo ba ko la yo akwe ju wi aba ko la no wa ko ne ana we ka nyu la fi la ni data e mo dai ba ni ne hono ne mo na izo ana we ka nyu la fi la fa jale ta ne mo no ne ana we ka nyu la fi la fa jale ta ne mo no ne e mo dai aba no ne ma ka o ne ani ne na fa to be ba na no ne ka ba no le we o ya nyu ne o ya nyu ne wo pe ne na bo nde o na mo ju no ru mo jo na o ma ne to je ani na me mo bu no na ni e bi no wa me ni na na e ba jeri o e bi no wa me na na e ba jeri o ya nyu ni na gon we lo ke ba ku Natasha adu ho na ne o ya nyu ne o ya nyu no ya wa do ni na jeri na so ne na we sho ya ni de
They deceived them. Imagine some people coming into your house to call you and say, we palliative, empowerment, and everybody have to in that song. rush down to the meeting points only to realize that there is no plan to give them any palliative. There was nothing. Just come and sign a signature. So they became very upset and angry. Few of them spoke of what it was like for them. Watch this.
I learned that call-up exercise that is going on in the local government. How far have you people gone about it?
Well, thank you for your question. Early morning, this early morning, we were informed that that we should come for an empowerment. When we get to the field, we are asked to bring our voter's card and the VIN, the number there. So we now ask why, because we heard that we should come for the empowerment. So they gave us a form to fill. You fill with your VIN and pen your signature. Then most of us will refuse that we cannot do that because we don't know that an empowerment can be done in this way. So we now left the field.
You want to tell me now that you don't know that it's issue of a record? That
we don't know that there is an issue of a record. So we left. Everybody left.
I will be here for the recall of Natasha Oduaga.
No, sir, we are not. We are here for an empowerment.
But we are not aware about the recall by some group of APC.
No, not at all. No. So we are here for an empowerment. We are just asked to be here for an empowerment. And we are given an instruction to come with our voter's card. So that was the instruction given to us, that we should be here with our voter's card for an empowerment. No, there's nothing like recall. We don't have anything against our senator, for God's sake. So why did we call?
Sorry, how can we meet you?
My name is Joseph Relied.
From where?
From Okehi local government in Kogi State, Ward 2, Ogorokuwete.
Okay, then what can you tell us about the trending recall process in Kogi Central today? Okehi to be precise.
I call it to be a mess because nobody was aware of it at all. They took people to the collaboration center, deceiving them of doing empowerment, and when many of them, majority of them, get to know that what they want to do is not a normal thing to do. So all of them, they left. So I see it as a mess, and I know that they cannot do anything about that. They are just doing what people were not in support of. Because I myself, I was not in support of it. Even majority of people in Okehi local government were not in support of it.
Okay, then what did you have to tell us about Senator Natasha? Is Senator Natasha representing you well at the Senate?
In fact, that woman has done a lot of things. He has done more than what others people have not done before. Other Senate, we have not even benefit of what they are going to the house to do before, but now that we know we have a Senate.
She's too better for us. So we are not recalling our senator. That's the point. They are not recalling their senator. APC, Egbekegbe wanted to play a smart one on them. So they detected early enough, and the exercise got truncated or botched or discontinued that hour. But on the other side of the town, an House of Assembly member, who is also the minority leader of the Kogi State House of Assembly, was busy doing his own empowerment. And here is the view from that empowerment in that same Kogi State.
Congratulations.
Bekeneko, Betayako, Neri, Eti Pelibe,
Camera low.
Ẹjọ́ jókòó ẹjọ́ bí mo ṣe máa bá yín ya fọ́tò.
mẹ́wàá náà pé.
mẹ́wàá. Orí ọ̀fẹ́ ni ọ̀rẹ́ mọ̀ ìyá máa pọ̀.
O wa nùgbà.
Ọ̀rá nùgbà rẹ̀ láì fẹ́ ìjẹ́ta ìdíbàbọ̀ káàbọ̀ kẹwàá ó ti pẹ̀wà kẹwàá.
So he gave 10 people 10 pairs of 10 pair of tires. They are bike tires, Okada. So that was an empowerment. That's what an empowerment looks like in that place. And that's what the politicians always give to them. It could be anything. It could be a piece of cloth. It could be, you know, plastic sort of bucket. It could be anything. It's empowerment, you know. They just... But for the people of Igbo, Taro, Abi, what's that called again? Yeah, Igbo Toro, Abi, sorry, Igba Toro. That's what it's called. In Ondo State, they have now joined the other people in Ondo State, other victims of the Fulani terrorism in Ondo State. According to them, this last weekend, 8 farmers were slaughtered in their community by the Fulani terrorists, which seems to have started increasing their activities in Ondo State of late. So the people of this community bussed themselves to Akure, the state capital, to go and express their displeasure as well as their anger, you know, on the part of the government that was supposed to protect them. Unfortunately, they have been at the mercy. They have been at the mercy of the Fulani terrorists in Ondo State as it happened.
Àwọn mẹ́rin lẹ́pàá lánàá báyìí ẹlẹ́kẹrin kúsàkù márùn ẹlẹ́karùn kúsàkù náà báyìí ńlá tún pè báyìí àwọn mẹ́rin wọ́n tún kó wọ́n bọ̀ níbo ni wọ́n fẹ́ ká gbé àwọn adájọ́ ọmọ Yorùbá tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ń wòran wọ́n dẹ̀ ti security wà l'Ondo State sọ yẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn kan wá.
Joy no dey. We go borrow money finish spend for farm. Fulani go come kill us join. We go come they go beg us money. Say we no go chop. They go take care of our life. We rape our life. Our wife. They go kill us join. Kidnap you. Kidnap us join. Kill us join. They go take kidnap us join. Help us. Make it help us so because we dey border. Now thank God take for their hand. We not carry gun. So make that.
8 farmers kidnapped and then killed by this Fulani terrorist. And they can't believe that this is actually happening in Yoruba land, where people have been raising the awareness on this for years now. Unfortunately, they've succeeded in using the drama in downplaying these atrocious activities, these murderous campaigns of these Fulani terrorists. They have. It is not their fault because we do have the saboteurs within the Omuales, within the Yoruba land that are pretty much on the side of these marauders, you know, unfortunately. People like this.
The people of this country, Nigeria, let's pray for our President Tinubu so that he can take us to our promised land. It's the prayer he can make us succeed.
Ọmọ Nàìjíríà, àgbà àti ọmọdé ni wọ́n ń gbé bàbá mi Tinubu ṣépè. Ẹ̀yin òbí wa, ẹ má ṣe kọ́ wa lépè àbí èébú torí àwa di ọjọ́ ọ̀la orílẹ̀-èdè. Èmi lọmọ Chief Security Òdodo International. God bless Nigeria.
Mo ti mú ìpinnu Chief Security Òdodo International Apostle Paul. Tohunkóhun tó bá gbà, òun la ó fi fún un. Yé bọ́mọ nìkejì jẹ́ mọ́, àgàgà ààrẹ wa, Tinubu. God bless Nigeria. The good people of this country, Nigeria, let's pray for our President Tinubu. It's not matter of court every time. It's matter of prayer and patience. Nigeria will be better in the mighty name of Jesus. Stop! Can you hear me? I say you should stop. To spoil the person God arranged for this nation. Nigeria country. If you don't want God to spoil you, stop to spoil Tinubu. Is a savior of Nigeria now. In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Hey! 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 Yes, yes. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. People of Nigeria, let's be patient for the government of Tinubu. It's taking us to next level, and anything that will be changed, it will take a lot of patience. Because all what it destroyed, the other people that destroyed many years ago, this man is come to put all those things to the order so that Nigeria will be beautiful. God bless Nigeria. God bless you. God bless me.
Like normal, Nigeria will make it. I mean, let's just be honest. The fact that a character like that, they have children, and they're also in their millions. Even if Nigeria want to make it, could guarantee. You cannot have millions of people like that in a country, and then you are expecting the country to turn out good. Could possible now? Like, could it happen? This is not wishing Nigeria bad. It's like bad is already the second nature, the first and the second nature and name of that contraption. But there are millions of people like that. They can't get children. Not to be more. You want to say, okay, go see solution. When you go to church, right, and they will say, this one, oh, Agbara, yeah, there is no solution. Oh. Like, come on. So you go die. Oh. That is the situation that Nigeria is in. This is the same people that sometimes you look at them and be like, share the same brain when you know in cross titi. You know, they say God is so merciful. For people, sometimes when you listen to these Ronukus, when you look at them, and they are telling you to pray for Thiefnubu and give you time, this and that. The same set of people who said the same thing during Bokwari's time. When you look at them, and you're like, is it possible that now this same brain, where you the same brain where you take raising that thing where you just talk now, that same brain, you take crossroad, and you lasted this long with this same brain. Along try go. And you will look at some people and you'll be like, oh my God, they try, shall God get mercy. Because if to say now the same brain where people they take reason with this Thiefnubu and others, now the same brain that they take run their life about there's trouble. But there are many, they are everywhere, you know, they are. Now, I'm going to steal about 10, 15 minutes, if possible, 20 minutes of our time again, just so that I can have this before we go. Remember the Thiefnubu. Thiefnubu is a terrible precedent hashtag with the campaign that is currently ongoing, right? Where the Gen Z and other Nigerians are calling out the failed government or failed regime of this Thiefnubu. Making videos. The first lady that made the video, she got bullied. She got attacked, trolled by the Ronukus who said he disrespected the Thiefnubu. Now, Raye, that's a Rita, has made another video, right? Prior to this, she actually did post on social media where she said, okay, listen, if people felt like if their ego got a little bit bruised and all that, because I said Lagos smells, when everybody knows Lagos smells as well, okay, I'm sorry if that makes you feel bad. It is not to actually abuse you. She was referring to the Ronukus. I didn't know that it was going to hurt your feelings, but since that happened, I'm sorry, but I still have to say the truth. And there are many other things I said in that video that a lot of you can relate, with. So why are you upset? Why are you trying to, scrutinize my life by checking if I am not living like a copper? You know what I mean? On a 33,000 naira minimum wage. That's it. That's actually the real story. That you are in this day and time. You are giving 33,000 naira, even though you promised 77,000 naira for the past 1 year when CC Chimbang is not paid to anyone. So that's still, I mean, the message still stands that people are going through hell in this economy, and there's no one that is not feeling it. Why are you after my lifestyle? Well, she's dropped another one, like pressure.
Hi everyone, good morning. I'm actually very much okay. I've been getting messages like this and also comments, so I don't want anyone to think that someone hijacked me or anything. Like, no, I'm okay, I'm doing great. Honestly, I went MIA because I had no idea what to do with the entire audience and all. But then why should I be the one to go MIA when there are stupid people on the internet? You see, for this particular video, I'm going to step out of character a little bit because I've been experiencing a lot of bullying, and it's not just online. Last night, I experienced bullying offline as well. It is very easy to see people that are stupid, people that are foolish, people that don't consume enough protein. Because if you consume protein, if protein was cheap, your brain cells will still be functioning. It's not difficult to see people that the economy is affecting directly, but because of sheer stupidity, they won't come out to say it. If you're hungry, if protein is your problem, you need to consume more so you will have sense. There's a reason why protein is very expensive in Nigeria. Why? Because a lot of us, our brain needs to actually die. Because for that one to take place, some people brain cells need to die. I've seen a lot of things actually. There's a particular old man that looks like life has left his body. When the stomach is empty, the brain is empty as well. It's not difficult. For every 50 stupid Nigerians out there, you will just know that majority of them, 40 of them, is as a result of hunger. You've not eaten well, and that is why you are being used to cajole others that are actually eating properly. When you see most of them talking nonsense, or when you see them defending nonsense, just go directly and tell them to go and consume more protein, because your brain cells are damaging slowly. I came out to say something about the government, and instead of you to listen to what I say and start attacking the things that I say, you're attacking my personal life. How does my personal life affect your own living? Like, I don't get. But what the other people do, it actually affects you, and that's what you should be tackling. But yet it's my personal life. Waiting concern you with say I go on boat cruise. Tomorrow if I go on a boat cruise again, I will post it, and there's nothing you can do about it. There's a particular boy that has dedicated his entire page to bullying me. He has a gap tooth in the middle of his face. This idiot has been slut shaming me as well, constantly calling me a slut. I don't even know you from today. Like, I didn't know you. Which one is I'm a slut? Call 5 people that have slept with me. In fact, call one person that slept with me and paid me money, and I will give you and him the money back in return. Are you mad? How many people were I know for Lagos? How many people have I met in Lagos? How many men have I spoken to in Lagos? Call one person, bring one person out. You're slut shaming me, calling me names. Bring one person out that has slept with me and has given me money, and I will give you and him the money double. You guys are very stupid. Because someone is quiet doesn't mean the person is foolish. Do you get me? So don't you ever come at me anymore. Like, what is your problem, bro? You guys already know what we need to do, but nobody wants to say what we need to do, and I can't say it from my own end because you know what we need to do. When you guys are ready to do what we actually need to do, then we will do it together. But for now, let all of us keep looking and seeing how everything plays out in the end. We will go back to listening to celebrity gossip, things that don't really concern us. We'll go back to it. When anybody will hear that, oh, this person have posted about this, oh, they did not pay their baby mama money, we'll go and listen to it, because that's actually the problem that's our actual problem on a normal day. Until someone brave decide that they want to come out and say, guys, let's do this, let's do that to fix this. Until then, everybody will go back to our daily lives and listen to celebrity gossip, since nobody wants to actually take the initiative.
You've done well, Rita. You've done your part. As much as a lot of people who are advising her just want her to stop talking. Because if she continues, there's a chance that many of our own generation, our mates, are going to tap into it, just as we have been seeing a lot of people who have been making videos in their own rants against the failed government in that contraption. Indeed, a lot of people in Nigeria, when you see them on social media, you see them react. Sometimes when you receive their reaction, then you just feel like something is wrong with this person. So, for example, right, say Thiefnubu said that if he failed to provide electricity, right, nobody should vote for him again. So now I think I have my reason why I'm not going to vote for him again. Then another person will just come. Will I say, Ogun won't kill your papa, Abi? How dare you say that about Thiefnubu? So the next thing you go to him and say, from where to where? Bros, you don't chop. So there's a chance that it's going to be like, no, I never chop. I say, I thought as much. Because this thing never reach, maybe they say, now, Ogun go give my papa, when you know what I'm saying is the truth. So why do you have to rise it? Naonga jare, no vex, True, naonga. Here you get now. So you will see somebody that will post something on social media, and the person will be like, Thiefnubu is the best president in Nigeria. I want to see any idiot that is going to come and disagree with me. Then another person will come and be like, bro, I disagree with you on this one. Thiefnubu is not the best president. And then you see this guy again come back and say, even myself, I disagree with myself. I'm just waiting to see those who are going to agree with me that Thiefnubu is the best president. So you see a lot of people, you know, doing all these things on social media, but what they're actually battling with themselves is hunger. And because of the widespread hunger in Nigeria, there has been a protein deficiency in people's food. Nobody they too chop egg now. Talk less of other proteins and all what have you. So people just eat whatever they see. All this idea of they get nutritional value. There's nothing like nutritional value. Just eat something is the state of their contraption right now.
In the time of poverty like this, the economic principle of Yusuf is what everybody should apply in his own lives. Eat little, save more. You don't know what is happening. A dollar was just 800 naira or thereabout a couple of months ago. Now a dollar is over 1,000 naira. How much will it go? Nobody knows. Torito say falafulu. Ogba salary kilawa. Igberaga week. All bera recently like. Eat little and save more.
Save what? Afar? Where are we going to save? As it stands right now, people just want to eat and stay alive. So eat little, save more, right? Even though Thiefnubu promised you that your dinner will not be imported, remember?
The farmer will make more money. Your lunch will not be imported. Cassava gari, yeah. The farmers will make money. The dinner will be cassava by a while.
Cassava by a while. Now, those are luxury. If you're able to eat cassava, gari, you are a rich man. So this young lady raised this awareness and became a bullied girl. She is not backing down. How about others who are discussing this same matter? There is this until there, right? In what was supposed to be a group conversation around the, this challenge raised by Rita. So listen to this guys debating the same matter. The first one is this until there, and others that followed her. Watch this.
I stand with her that though what she said, everything she said is the truth. We all know is the truth. But the fact still remains that she did insult the president. She said She said, Mr. President, I don't think there's anybody that has done a terrible job. But Mr. President, you are a terrible. She made us wait. Hold on now. But she did say the whole issue here is that what she did actually is an insult to the president. Even if we know, yes. What he is. We know. Not even you can admit him. Not even you can admit him. But yes. See, hold on. It's not about whether what she did is in her right or it's not in her right. What she did actually is an insult to the president. Even if we all stand by her, even if we all know.
Thank you.
Even if we all know.
Thank you.
Capital punishment, because that was what he said. And I think it is, probably if you Google it, capital punishment is killing someone, right? And I still wonder if under democracy, we are still talking about capital punishment. And these are some of the problems we have with our constitution, that we are still running those military constitutions till now. Like, I don't understand. And I think also, you see, when I hear young people also fault this girl, it can tell you simply why someone can also pick phone to call the girl. So most people in Nigeria are also in that level. You see, one of the problems we have in Nigeria is that we know for this country, we like to prove. Look, the girl said, you are a terrible president. One of the things I think we should also understand is, he did not say you are a terrible person. That means he's talking about his office. And we must, please, we must differentiate the office of the person from the personality of the person. And so if he says you are a terrible president, that could actually also be said that your leadership has a problem. It is not you. Now, sorry, my brother that works with NYSC. Now, please, it is important that you know that if you have a staff and your staff notice your product is bad and harmful to the people, whether you are paying your staff 50 billion and he speaks to you and says this product is harmful and you refuse and he speaks out, my brother, all of us go beat you.
Thank you.
Your product cannot be as harmful as every Nigerian, and you feel because you are paying one person, that person should keep quiet. Please, we have the right to speak as Nigerians and we'll be allowed to. Now, before I drop the mic in 2 seconds, the president should please know this, that people are working with you does not necessarily mean that they want you to succeed. Sometimes they may just be clapping for your destruction and may even aid you towards destruction, because if a person who is working with the personality of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu can make this kind of statement, not looking at the person himself as Tinubu, it is a dangerous person to work. He is a dangerous person to work with Tinubu. Goodluck Jonathan is the most insulted president.
Okay, thank you, Ghana. Thank you.
And yet, we didn't hear any of this.
Thank you.
So please, people should be allowed to speak when they feel hot.
Thank you.
Cultured people when there is hunger in the land. You can't tell people that are don't speak, please.
Right, please.
You can't tell people that are hungry to act certain ways. When there is hunger, there is anarchy. Nigeria is heading for doom. With the way we are moving, respect is reciprocal. If you don't take care of people, they will act out. And when there is hunger, you don't tell a hungry man to sit down and die there. Why sit we here till we die?
Okay, so what you just said, can you communicate it in a more civil way?
As civil way works in Nigeria. Has it worked? Until we are ready to go, nothing will change.
I'm highly disappointed of Nigerian government because the Nigerian government were highly disappointed in them due to foreseen circumstances. Definitely, I'm one of those people approving people should die in coronavirus is more better than people should die in hungers. Hunger kills more than coronavirus because some people are less privileged. Due to for simple reasons that I said it, some people are less privileged, which they are based on daily pay, which are not even based on salaries. But our government thinks that the lockdown is the best solution to coronavirus, and proving it to an extent and to the levels of alacrity that if someone die in coronavirus, it's more efficient to die in hunger, because some people will be at indoor.
God bless you, Jare Prof. Your words are like golden words on marble. You know, as you tell us with alacrity of what you mean, you know, thank you. So the Gen Z, there will be more and more of riots expressing their disgust and disappointment, and they are all agreeing that Thiefnubu indeed is a terrible president. Here's one of them.
I was passing Chisco Ekate a few days back. I'm talking 4 days ago. This is very, very recent. And guess what I saw? A poster that looks like an election poster, obviously. It had Tinubu's picture on it, and under it they wrote 2027 boldly. There was no position, there was no party. Now we all know what that is. I remember 2 years back when I saw Tinubu's poster and I was like, Tinubu is running for it cannot be. Obviously, look at who is in power today. So clearly it is a pattern. Now they say an hungry man is an angry man. When Nigerian government messed up, is messing with food. Like food, we are already suffering, and then food, you cannot afford to have a decent meal. When you think that the country is bad, yeah, when you think a particular government is terrible and worst, another government comes in and just shows up that, oh, they are just warming up, they are just getting started. I never knew that Nigeria could get worse than Buhari's tenure. I thought we were seeing hell, but these governments came in and just told us that, oh, they are just warming up, they are just getting started with us. People are hungry. I don't think Nigerian governments comprehends that. Like, people are hungry, people are starving. Some people that their meal was 001, they can barely even afford to eat in a day. Let's not talk about people that are in the hospital, people that are dealing with sickness. People that are dealing with sickness, now they have to deal with feeding. And now, can Nigerian government please just have empathy? Please, we are begging. Have compassion. Everybody is affected. Even the rich people before, they are now middle class. My own now is that when we are ready to take this complaint out of social media and go and protest, me, I will come out. I have never protested before in my life, but I am so affected that I would come out to protest. It's time for every Nigerian to start speaking up. Stop dying in silence and using fine clothes to cover your hunger. I was passing Chisco.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning. Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning.
Fellow Nigerians, this is just the beginning. And to the other side, Jagabankari.
Àsìkò òǹgbẹ lọ́tún lósì. Ẹ̀mí ò sì káre. Jagabankari.
And to others who believes that things can continue like this, they summarily agree that if it continues like this, what you have next is going to be
anarchy loans. Anarchy loans. Anarchy loans.
Wike has revoked the CFO of PDP Secretariat in Abuja. Wike, we do all he can, I mean, on this mission, right? He will do all he can to ensure that not only that PDP will be a shadow of their former self, they will likely not exist again by 2027 if Wike has his way. From what we have gathered, Thiefnubu's regime, they have arrested the Accountant General of Bauchi State, and that is the state of Bala Mohammed, the guy that is currently believed to be standing and working on how to get Wike completely dismissed from the PDP. So they are now contemplating on how to possibly dismiss him without burying the PDP once and for all. How that is going to play out, we don't know. In another day, in another development, which is so similar, where the Wike was also spotted somewhere in Abuja. I'm trying to get the name of the area. I think it is called, the Arteria Road N16 around the Gishiri community. The another community in Abuja, where the Wike has revoked the people's CFO, and their properties are already being demolished as we speak. It made a quick U-turn from what is known for before now, when the Wike decided that it will compensate those people from Gishiri community. They just need their land for something more like, so everybody's property in that place will be demolished, and the Wike promised to go and give them land in another place, including compensation that wasn't offered to them in the first place. Initially, they said they were offered this compensation, but these people rejected the compensation. So the Wike was there this afternoon to reassure them that, yeah, you are going to be homeless, but we're going to give you another house. And indeed, we are also going to give you money. They said that it was initially budgeted, they budgeted 655 million naira as a compensation, but the Wike, in his own magnanimity, in his benevolence, decided to increase that compensation to 1.3 billion naira. It was there physically this afternoon to tell them that you might have lost your land and your house is here. Maybe there's something to compensate you for after all.
Oh, sorry.
Please take a move back. Move back. Move.
What's the community? No, speakers don't. I don't want to hear anything like that.
Excellency, we felt you would need to see the portions we've been there and have shown us everything where the demolitions took place. So if you would oblige, you see, especially this one that is very close, that one might be very far to appreciate the circumstances. And now we'll merge the plots and then design them into plots and give them this area and then the pockets. The problem with that area is that it's a 12-hectare plot and the demolition took place a long time ago. Afterwards, they started applying for building plan and they started developing them in a haphazard manner. So you can't really get a particular area that is free completely.
No, I don't like it. No, I don't like it. I give people 1 week. I allocate it to them. If it's very enough, I will fire it. This is not what you have. What you say, grab. I don't want to hear that.
All right, we'll do that.
Then the money. Where's the settlement? How you pay them the money? See, that's what I don't like here. If you don't take the money, I will not give you the land again. I will collect the money. So I should take the land, it's time to develop it. Are you hearing me? Yes. If I hear that you don't take it, I will not also give. And I can tell the head will not fall. You'll be the one that will suffer it. So don't give me that condition. Now that I've come out to say, they don't go and give you your land and also give you your money. But if you give me condition, I will also pull out. Are you hearing me?
So you take the land or you take the money we are offering you. If you don't take it, I will change my mind. And if I change my mind, that's it. So lucky you that I am actually giving compensation this time. I don't give compensation. That's really wicked. And in Lagos, right, another set of city cleaning in the city that we call the mega shitty because of the stinkiness, the dirtiness, the rowdiness of APC. Egbekegbe's 25 years of being in charge of Lagos, from the time of the AD to the time of the AC to the ACN and to the APC. Egbekegbe today, Lagos State has been governed by the same set of people, and yet it is a mega shitty. But here they are, in their usual way, cleaning up the illegal structures, they are called, from their streets. in Lagos.
From here now.
That's from the mega city in Lagos. And on that note is where we are going to draw the curtains this evening. I have used most of our time, and that is why, you know, it's just about half an hour to go. I would have used that to take calls, but it won't be like enough, kind of. But do you think we should take a few calls where people have the chance of reacting to what we have shared so far? What do you think? Or we go to bed and we can always continue from where we are stopping now tomorrow. So meanwhile, if you are still here, by the way, remember, if you have to leave right now, like the broadcast, okay, like it, share it, subscribe to the channel as well, so that you won't miss a thing, right? The next time. So we are going to call it a night. All right, we will call it a night. We shall catch up on the contribution the next time. So I was advised to get a Bitcoin. There's something I want to share with you, right? So I was advised to get a Bitcoin, and I actually did open one where I've got different coins. So I don't know how this works. I've said it a few times, and I really want to know how it actually works, okay? So if you check the comments, either on Facebook or on YouTube, I think I am able to copy and share the key. I don't know how it works. So those of you who does, you can please let me know by putting in your Bitcoin inside. This one is for the BTC, by the way. That's the one in the link. So then I will probably share it more if it works. So thank you so much, everyone, for your time and for all the support as well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, right? As I will mine, and I am going to see you again some other time. Stay safe and don't stop watching my YouTube. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ ọ́ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dáyàrí, ayé bí. dódódódó.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Máyégún ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ará ìlú.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Máyégún já wa sí.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Máyégún máa wí.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Máyégún diary political.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Máyégún.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Àní Máyégún làwa mọ̀ dódódódó.
Máyégún diary náà ibi number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin ti ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀lọ́mọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì máyé ègún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.